Well, college football season is well underway, so it's a great time to welcome our guest this evening, the chaplain of the University of Notre Dame football team. Father Nate Wills is a priest of the Congregation of Holy Cross. In addition to his duties as chaplain, Father Nate is a professor who teaches education and leadership. He is also the founding director of the Alliance for Catholic Education's Higher Powered Learning Program, which helps teachers and leaders leverage technology to meet the needs of all learners in K through 12 classrooms. Father Nate joins us this evening because he's the author of the new book, Pray Like a Champion Today. Does that sound familiar? Pray like a champion today. Sacred stories from the sidelines of Notre Dame football. Welcome to the Busted Halo Show, Father Nate Wills.
Thank you so much, Father Dave. This is just a delight to be here. I know my parents are listening right now, and I'm so excited to be with you.
Well, Father Nate, many people are listening merely to the sounds of our voice. Most people will listen on the radio. Maybe they can catch it later on the podcast. Only a couple of us actually get to see you. Many people would assume that you're standing in front of a Zoom background because it looks so impressive and so Catholic churchy. But no, you're actually outside with a church with a golden dome right behind you.
Yeah, that's right. The Basilica of the Sacred Heart is right back there, and the main building of Notre Dame is right behind me. It's not a bad place to be, and it's a beautiful day in northern Indiana.
Sometimes people would call anybody who goes to Notre Dame domers, like because of the gold dome. The gold dome is literally right over his shoulder as we're having this conversation. And it's not like a still, like I do a lot with, putting like pictures behind me and little logos and green screen. He took the time to bring his laptop out on the roof, and he's got the microphone all set up.
Before that we started, you were like, are you sure that's really you outside? Like he wasn't aware. You were like, it just looks so green screeny. But yeah, you're pulling it off. It looks great.
AI is amazing these days.
The only thing that really tipped me off was the sunset on his face, the nice sort of soft light.
Nope, that's lighting. It's all studio work. Nah, he's doing great.
So, Father Nate, you are let's start with some of the basics for our listeners. You're a Holy Cross priest. Now, I have to often remind folks who listen to the show on a regular basis that the Paulist Fathers, my religious community, is a smaller Catholic order that less people may be familiar with than, let's say, the Jesuits or the Franciscans or these days the Augustinians. And that may be the case with the Congregation of the Holy Cross. So the letters after your name, CSC, Congregation of the Holy Cross. S is Latin. But tell us a little bit about your community. People might know that you're the priests that help to run the University of Notre Dame, right?
Absolutely. So we're a relatively young religious community. We're only found in the mid-19th century, and we were founded in France, but then almost immediately sent missionaries out throughout the world, some to Bangladesh, some here to northern Indiana. And we have.
Those are the two most obvious choices, I think. If I'm sending somebody somewhere, like Jesus when he does the 72, here, take the walking stick, go to Bangladesh and northern Indiana, those two places.
Yeah, they must have said, you go that way and you go that way. And,
right. See how far away you can get from each other.
In many ways, not just geographically.
Yeah, right.
So we do a lot of education. We do a lot of mission work. We do some parish work, and we're spread throughout the whole world. And but we're a relatively small religious community as well. So often people think that Notre Dame is run by the Jesuits. It is not. It was founded in there's about 60 priests and brothers here on campus. About a dozen of us teach, and it's just a wonderful place, and I found a great home in Holy Cross.
The other thing that's confusing is that people think that the Jesuits run Notre Dame, and people think that the Holy Cross Fathers run Holy Cross. It's the opposite of that.
Exactly.
So Holy Cross, my dad went to Holy Cross in Worcester, Mass. And no, that's Jesuit. So we try to keep everybody guessing with the names of the schools and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So Notre Dame, so were the Holy Cross Fathers the founders of Notre Dame?
Yes.
Because you guys are into education. You went to northern Indiana. There's a great school in Bangladesh. I understand that you guys found it. But
they also have a golden dome.
They doesn't have the golden dome. Doesn't have the same one that we're familiar with. But even people that aren't necessarily overly familiar with football might associate Notre Dame with Catholicism in America.
Yeah, absolutely. And it really is the tradition of being an American Catholic. I think part of the history of this place is really it was a place where people could be proud to be Catholic and American, and that was a real struggle for much of the early part of the 20th century, even where you would see signs in stores that would say Irish and Italians need not apply, right? So that discrimination against Catholics, because our country was founded on this idea of rejecting a foreign, control, and people saw Catholics as being controlled by Rome. And so even, when JFK was elected president, people were really worried that, like, oh my gosh, is he going to be taking, commands from there? And so there's a ton here around Notre Dame. I'm seeing right behind the dome over there is Washington Hall, named after George Washington, right? And because people really wanted to have that sense of being American and Catholic. And really, it was the Notre Dame football team starting to win in the 1920s that brought a ton of pride to Notre Dame. They actually didn't let us join a conference. They didn't let us join the Big Ten. And so Notre Dame had to go on the road, and we traveled to whoever would play us, and really kind of created a national following because we would travel all over the place and people came to know and love Notre Dame.
Now, whenever I play this, Brett Siddell, my co-host, the hairs on the back of his neck go up. Because Brett Siddell is an alum of the University of Southern California. Oh.
It's okay. You're doing a great job. We're happy to have you on. It's a storied rivalry. I always like to remind people there's actually more Catholic students at USC than Notre Dame. Okay, that's fine. And I also broke my collarbone at the Notre Dame campus when I went to the USC Notre Dame game. So I have I have some bad blood, but it's all a joke. And
yes,
I love both schools.
Father Nate, we can entirely blame Notre Dame on Brett breaking his collarbone. Had nothing to do with anything he was doing that day.
No, my lawyers are in touch with Notre Dame. I was pressured to jump for that ball. I would like to let everyone know that I caught that ball, by the way.
Oh, you know, cool.
And none of the Fighting Irish fans were thinking that was going to happen. So I feel like I won in one small way. And then when they saw me carted off in an ambulance, they feel like they won in a small way. I should also give a little historical perspective. Notre Dame is actually winning one of the longest, greatest rivalries in college football. Notre Dame's up 52-37 in the games.
USC. Notre Dame.
Over USC.
Yeah.
Notre Dame's winning. So I'll give you that. You got God on your side, I suppose. He's pretty powerful. Touchdown, Jesus. There you go.
Well, so I've seen both wins and losses to Southern Cal. So.
The book is called Pray Like a Champion Today, Sacred Stories from the Sidelines of Notre Dame Football. Only one slight complaint, Father Nate, is that on behalf of all of us radio hosts who have to do the tongue twisters on your book title. Thanks a lot. Thanks for throwing those in.
Sorry, I can't resist a little alliteration.
Yeah, you love the alliteration. So now people would probably be familiar with, yes, as you just said, even the founding of American Catholicism and that integrated, it's a very Catholic university. But I think oftentimes people are surprised when they hear how much of a Catholic presence there still is today. How many, you probably have this figure at your fingertips, how many masses are celebrated per day on the campus of Notre Dame there in Indiana?
Yeah, there's over 150 per week. I know, so it's pretty remarkable.
That's crazy. And because, as you said, you got a lot of priests there. You said there's something like 60 priests.
Yeah, there's 60 priests and brothers. Most priests that live here and work on campus, but many of us teach. Some of us are in dorm ministry. We do all kinds of stuff to really promote the faith and to do our best for our students.
Dorm ministry sounds a lot like being an RA, which sounds like that's be a punishment for a priest.
It's a very special ministry, and we have wonderful priests that do it. I am not one of them.
You're not one of those, okay?
No.
Tuck that in there. No, I don't do it, of course, but a lot of good people do it.
I live in a dorm. I'm the priest in residence at a dorm, and in fact, in about an hour and a half here, I'll have mass in my dorm, and it's Tuesday, so we do Tater Tot Tuesday, where I'll throw in a couple bags of tater tots in the oven. By the time mass is over, they're done, pull them out, and the guys all come, and we have a great time.
I would say that rivals the new papal tradition of going out to Castel Gandolfo every Tuesday. So tater tots, I think I might actually choose that over Castel Gandolfo.
I'd like to mention that those are not mutually exclusive. You can have tater tots at Castel Gandolfo, and I'm guessing the Pope, he's got Midwest roots, So maybe he's combining those two things.
Smothered with chili, probably, if he's got it.
Put it on the pizza. I'm the Pope.
Now, Father Nate, you are the chaplain in the Notre Dame football team. I myself was a priest chaplain to a Division I college football team at a secular school, though, University of Colorado, Buffalo. I was just there this past weekend. Go Buffs. They're doing okay this year. Okay. As is the Fighting Irish doing okay this year. But I would imagine it's a very different experience when you're not at a secular university, because they were happy to have me there, but there was obviously a lot of parameters about separation of church and state. I mean, it's not actually what separation of church and state means, but people would always say that, and it's like, well, it's a state school. So, but you probably have, in many ways, not just you yourself, but many ways in which the program has over the years integrated the faith into the football program.
Yeah, it really is. It's such a gift. I did grad school at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and actually became great friends and lived with, and I was mentored really by a priest there, Father Mike Burke, who is their chaplain for 40 years. So
Wow.
I saw what it looked to be, what being a secular school chaplain looked like, and they had all kinds of challenges, right, in Madison, of people, getting upset about that. It really is a huge and beautiful thing here at Notre Dame, because I think the coaches are really excited about having chaplains. They use us well. And the other thing is, I think so many students come to Notre Dame because they want to grow in their faith. So we have student athletes who aren't Catholic, but they know, like, look, this is a place where I can grow in my faith, where it will be cultivated and supported. And I can have conversations with my fellow classmates about their own faith. And we're all growing together to become the people that God has created us to be.
And so, I mean, you talk about in the book the fact that faith is embedded in really every aspect of the team's culture. I witnessed a degree of that because, like I said, I was at the University of Colorado. It was a few years since the Bill McCartney years. So he was the guy that went on to found Promise Keepers, a big sort of Christian men's movement. And so there was still very much imbued in the team, like you said, even among not necessarily practicing religious guys, but there was nary a few moments where you didn't see people praying, coaches praying with students and all that sort of thing. I had a smaller subset with the Catholic guys, but there was definitely a lot of that. So I can imagine, and again, that was at a secular school, a state school. So I can imagine at a place where it's welcomed, that they don't even shy away from that, right?
Yeah, and there's so many great traditions too, from having mass before the game, and the guys all march from our Basilica of the Sacred Heart out the God Country Notre Dame door. People line the whole walk, and they walk from there over into the stadium. And it's such a beautiful image, right? Of going from the Basilica to the Cathedral football now. But it really is.
Oh, no. I've seen that one. It's Ohio State. That truly is a cathedral football. I mean, literally, they have like stained glass and statues of football players instead of saints.
Oh, my God.
But now at Notre Dame, your current head coach, Marcus Freeman, didn't he convert to Catholicism? Did that have something to do with his playing there, his role there?
Yeah, he became Catholic his first full year here, and it was a beautiful journey, and I was really blessed to be walking with him a bit in that, and doing his kind of private OCIA. And
oh wow! And so it's not like it's required on the resume, like or if you're gonna work here, you got to be Catholic. Come on.
No, and in fact, it's really interesting that many opposing teams have used that as a deterrent for kids who aren't Catholic, saying, don't go to Notre Dame because they'll make you become Catholic, like the coach did, which is patently not true, right? It's just he and his wife of 15 some years is Catholic, and she's been working on him for a long time.
Oh, there you go. Okay, I believe that.
between her and the Holy Spirit, I think I don't even make the top 10 in terms of influences. Right. But
the power of the Catholic spouse is better than the negotiating tactics of the contract. We are talking with Father Nate Wills. He is the chaplain of the Notre Dame football team. His new book is called "Pray Like a Champion Today: Sacred Stories from the Sidelines of Notre Dame Football." Now, you do tell a lot of behind the scenes. It is kind of cool. You give us, a little to sneak into the game day traditions. What are some of those that are fun that people might love to hear about?
Yeah, I absolutely love this tradition that I inherited. It's literally over 100-year tradition of
Oh,
giving out holy medals to our student athletes. So
oh,
we give a little image of the saint, a holy medal to them every game that we play, and it's a different saint every time. We're on a 5-year rotation, so hopefully they don't get repeats. And I use it as an opportunity to give a little bit of catechesis about who the life of the saint is and how they have different and unique paths to Jesus. And I've been putting it on Instagram as well. I posted on my Instagram page, which you won't be surprised to hear is also called "Pray Like a Champion" today, and talk about the life of the saints, and then I'll have one of the players hold the holy medal to kind of highlight them as well. So it's been an amazing tradition, and like I say, I found documentation that it goes back to literally 1923
wow.
when a priest started doing this for the team, and it was really amazing. It was this October 13th, 1923. Notre Dame was playing Army, and Army had gotten this Hollywood star to do a ceremonial kickoff, and a priest here said, "Look, if they're going to have this Hollywood star on their side, we're going to have Saint Joan of Arc on our side." And he
Oh,
gave all
wow.
the players Saint Joan of Arc medal. And I found that story in Father Tom Blance's book, literally like 3 months before the 100th anniversary of that. And so when we were playing Southern Cal, sorry, Brett,
I knew you had something on your side that day.
I know we gave out Saint Joan of Arc medals, and we won that.
Oh, Brett, you can't go against Joan of Arc for crying out loud.
That doesn't seem fair.
Now, another game day tradition you have a little play on in the title of your book, but some of our listeners may not be familiar. Most of our football fans are certainly get the title, but tell us about that.
About the play like
Yeah.
a champion sign.
Play like a
Oh
champion.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's an awesome tradition. The Lou Holtz actually started. So he put up this big
Big Catholic.
play like
Big Catholic. Lou Holtz. Big Catholic.
absolutely. He was just on campus last game too. It was pretty awesome.
Wow.
He put up this big sign that said "Play like a champion" today, and so people slap it when they're going from the locker room down onto the field. And everybody has their own little thing. Some guys put like a little circle on it. I always put a little cross on it and then hit it. It's just really a beautiful tradition that reminds us that we're part of something bigger, and that reminds us that we're that championship mindset that is just such an important part of believing in yourself and recognizing that you're a beloved child of God, and all these things that are most important about our identity.
Father Nate Wills is our guest here on the Busted Halo Show, chaplain to the Notre Dame football team. Football season is underway. I mean, maybe a couple more prayers for this season. Get that going.
As I say in the book, there's many times when people will say, it's raining. I'm like, Father, can't you do something about this?
Right.
Or we need a couple more points. And I always tell them the exact same thing. Look, I'm in sales, not management.
Right. I'm just, I don't know. Make those choices. I'm not in charge of those things.
I'm not in charge.
I did feel it was my first, actually, when I was chaplain, it was my first 4 years of priesthood. So I was newly ordained priest. And I'll be honest to say that while I would call myself a, decent sized football fan these days, I really was not, and did not even really know or understand the game even before I became a chaplain. And I was standing on the sidelines. And as you well know, people might think, oh, it's so cool to be on the sidelines. You can't see anything from the sidelines. They're huge. They're all 2 feet taller than you, and they're wearing shoulder pads and helmets, and you're back there going, what's going on? What's going on? So you end up looking up at the darn big Jumbotron anyway. I might as well be watching it on my TV at home. So
that is 100% true. I love it. That's exactly right.
Oh, it's so cool to be on silence. But I do remember it was very moving to be able to kind of spiritually and pastorally walk with people of that age. I was working in campus ministry, so college students who weren't on the football team as well. But what would you say are some, from your experience, some of the kind of spiritual challenges that people of their age have today? Maybe particularly student athletes, but you get exposed to a lot of them. You got dorm mass and everything. Is it different than when we were growing up, or when a lot of our listeners were growing up? What would you say are the spiritual challenges young people face today?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, differences from when I was growing up. There's color television now. No, I'm kidding. There's all
radio.
Kinds of,
let's all gather around.
No, there's all kinds of differences. I mean, and I think a big one that that students kind of universally struggle with these days is just the noise. There's so much noise in our world right now. There's so many things that would just take all of your attention if you gave it to it. And it's, they don't necessarily need to create silence in their life. They don't need to be bored anytime. They can just, pick up their phone and start to scroll, and everyone is sending messages at them that, like, you don't look good enough, you're not strong enough, you're not smart enough. If you buy this, you'll be better. If you buy this, you'll sleep better. There's just all kinds of messages that students have to wade through. And I think it's tougher than ever to be a college student, where you really have to fight to get an education. And I mean, now with generative AI, they don't even have to do the reading. They don't have to do writing. I mean, it's really, there's all these temptations to cut corners and just take the easiest way out. And one of the chapters in the book, it talks about a phrase that Marcus Freeman, our head coach, likes to use, and it's simply choose hard. And I think that's really tough these days.
Choose hard, like choose the harder way?
Choose the hard thing, right? Like choose the difficult path. And I think choosing hard is not a simple thing to do, because there's so many ways to choose easy, right? And to choose the easy way out, to take shortcuts on everything. And it's simply, it's not the path to growth. It's not the path to holiness. And I think more and more students have to fight for creating silence in their life, turning the devices off and turning the noise down.
Well, I'm going to encourage all of our listeners to turn their devices off right now, because we've got to head to a break. But it's a joy talking with you, Father Nate Wills. The book is called Pray Like a Champion Today. Not play like it. Pray Like a Champion Today. Sacred Stories from the Sidelines of Notre Dame Football. I'm going to be, from now on, before I go on the air, I'm going to be using that to warm up my lips and tongue. Sacred Stories from the Sidelines. Sacred Stories from the Sidelines. Going to be able to do that. And thank you so much. This is a guy who knows how to get picked for the screenshot that we'll use on social media. He's right in front of the Gold Dome doing the interview. Father Nate, thanks so much for joining us.
Can't thank you enough for having me. God bless you. Thank you.
Maybe later in the season we'll check in, see how
Absolutely.
things are going. Like if you're going in like some I don't know, playoffs or something. Let's hope.
We'll only check in after the USC game if USC won. So that's when you'll see an email from us.
Brett likes to check in on that. Yeah. All right,
Noted.
Father Nate, take care. And we've got a link on our radio blog, bustedhalo.com/radio, so you can find out where you can pick up the book, Pray Like a Champion Today.